All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on CampusXR. We are excited to update you in what's new with Virtual Tour and our platform, Campus 360.
Yes.
Um,
So for those of you who don't know us, my name is Paige Han. I'm a project manager with CampusXR, and my lovely colleague is Erin Klein, communications associate. And we're going to kind of talk today a little bit about Campus 360, our virtual tour platform, and some of the recent updates we've made, and different ways we can you can use the Campus 360 platform to really help show off your campus as a virtual tour. All right. So diving right in. Great. So first, again, we're going to talk about some of our starting Campus 360 features, the kind of default as well as some optional ones that you can always add on for additional snazziness. And then from there, we'll move into some of those new features and then have a short little Q&A session where you can ask us any questions that you may have about either our platform itself or these new features, whatever you like. Great. So, our virtual tours are fully immersive. They're web-based, so it's a link. It's accessible by any computer that can access the internet. It's accessible from phones, from iPads, what have you, right? Because there's no app download, there's no friction there. So it's fully web-based. Mainly, our tours are comprised of 360-degree virtual reality images, also videos. So we can capture 360 photos and videos of your campus, and we build those out into a tour. From there, you can see we list each location to the left so students can click through each location. If they're looking for a particular point or spot, they can go directly there. You'll see here we also have arrows. So a student can kind of wander or walk around your virtual campus based on locations that are near each other. So we call those the proximity arrows. And it kind of creates a little map almost of your campus so that students can kind of wander around and see and explore. We also have pop-up stories. So this is where the informational content for your tour comes in. When a student, they appear, you can see them here. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but little blue bubbles. So they're not taking up the huge screen unless you click on them and open them. When you do open them though, it opens with photos, videos, text. It can also have audio narration. So we actually will have a lot of schools use their existing student tour guides to record that audio. So it still has that kind of personal experience. You get all of that informational content directly within that tour as well. Also, each tour has an information button that opens up to a short university bio, as well as links directly to your website and any social media accounts that you like. Cool. One of the primary benefits is that you can actually take the virtual tour in our platform. It lives on our website, so students can look it up on our site if they want to. But we also send you an iframe free of charge. There's no concern there. And you can actually take that iframe and embed the tour directly within your own website so that you're not sending students to a different site or a different domain. It can live directly within your website. And then you can actually, we track some analytics, but with it embedded in your own site, you actually can track the analytics yourself in your own dashboard. So that's a great way as well is that iframe embedding. Each tour also has a contact form built right in. This also shows up in that iframe, right? We can set this so that it's a button click in the top corner or to open up automatically when a student opens the tour. We have a default one, and that just sends the student's information directly to the email address that you give us. So we never touch any student data. It sends directly through to you. But also, if you prefer, we can use and integrate a Slate form or directly with your existing CRM. If you just give us that iframe code, we can also swap that out so it goes directly to your existing CRM. As you can see, again, we have Google Analytics. We capture we capture statistics and data, just some kind of general. We tend not to try and capture too much analytics, more to protect student privacy than anything else. But again, with iframe embedding, you can integrate directly into your own Google Analytics even more deeply. And then there's a pop-up within each tour that opens up to Google Maps. So as a student is kind of going between locations, they can actually see in Google Maps where that location lives. And they can actually kind of look around the map a little bit and see where their location is for each tour stop. So that's another great feature there. Some optional services, right? So these are things that you can kind of add on as you like. We can film. We have multiple options. So either we will come out and film your campus if you like, or if you prefer to film yourself, if you've already got a 360 camera in-house, right? You're fully welcome to capture those photos yourself and send those to us, and we upload those directly to our platform. If we film, we also have drone filming. So our videographers are also drone pilots. So we can capture 360-degree drone footage. So as part of your tour, you can have a drone stop where you can kind of look at campus and travel from there to different locations. And it's a really great way to navigate campus that way. We also have multi-language support. This is really important for recruiting internationally. We can enable them very easily, but we can also add in translations and different translation versions for each story, and the full user interface can be fully translated into different languages. Another really great feature that is possible is live tours within the tour itself. So I'm sure everyone has had experience with kind of leading a virtual tour or trying to through Zoom and trying to screen share and it not working right or it being jittery and jumpy. I'm just realizing myself that I am screen sharing without video enabled, so I'm just gonna update that really quick. Cool. There we go. Sorry about that. Yes. So, but again, with the live tour feature, you can actually, rather than having to screen share a video through Zoom and it potentially getting jittery and jumpy and not working well, you can actually invite students through a specific link to your tour. They're within the tour platform itself, so each student can look around individually and independently, but within that, you will have a little picture-in-picture of your tour guide who can guide students through from one location to the next, while still giving students the opportunity to click on those stories on their own or look around on their own within that tour platform. So that's a really great feature. And then also we have a virtual application, or a VR application, which we'll talk about a little bit more. So that's one of our exciting new features. We can also build custom apps. So if you want your own VR app within Oculus, we can actually build that out for you. So you would have your own Oculus Quest app of your tour. Great, so some of these new features. The first are different ways to kind of lead students through a guided pathway on this tour. So namely, those are slideshows, and we also have a feature called Yellow Brick Road, which I'll talk about a little bit. So with a slideshow, what that means is, as we talked about, the stories are informational content. So it's tons of useful and helpful information for students as they look through your tour. With a slideshow, you can actually create, again, a special link that when a student uses that link and uses that slideshow link, it leads them directly from one story to the next on kind of a guided route or pathway. So say, for example, you wanted to have a specific informational tour for, let's say, engineering prospective students. You could create a slideshow that features exclusively and only those specific stories that are relevant to engineering students, and it'll guide them directly from one to the next. We also have, again, as I mentioned, yellow brick roads, and those are, rather than stories one to the next, are locations. So we can create a specific arrow type. You can actually see one right there. Excuse me. That when a student follows that arrow route, it actually leads them in a specific pathway through your campus and through your tour. So you can lay that out as well. So different ways to navigate and create specific and intentional guided pathways through your tour. Another really great new feature are menu drop downs. So we had a lot of interest in, for example, well, we have this one building, but we want to have a bunch of different locations within that building. So say the nursing campus, right? We want to have the nursing lab and then the nursing classroom and maybe an IV station, things like that. So now you can actually sort and categorize the locations on your tour in that drop down menu into specific drop downs to help kind of sort the tour and make a little bit more sense out of it. Or make it just a little bit more logical so that students can kind of see, oh, I get it, this is part of that building or that campus. Really great, for example, if you're a university with multiple campuses, you can kind of sort based on campuses, or if you want to sort any like satellite locations, any international campuses that you may have, you can actually sort your tour locations that way. So that's a really exciting new feature. One that I'm really excited about and really love is using AR to integrate with your virtual tour as well. So what we can do, as you see here in these two demos, we can actually take a map, or in the UPitt example, a building, and actually overlay different location stops on there, numbered as you see. And what happens is when a student clicks on that, you can see right there, it opens up an informational box, again, all within the AR experience, that has information, photos about that tour stop. And then what's really fantastic is from there, if a student isn't on campus, they can click another button that links directly to that stop on the virtual tour. So really great for showing off a campus when you're recruiting and going internationally. You can show off a campus. You can physically hand a student a map that they can then open up in 3D and explore that way. Or if a student happens to be on campus, a really exciting use case is that we also can include a link in each stop that uses GPS to navigate a student directly to that spot while they're on campus. So it becomes a handheld self-guided tour for students who are on campus, which is a really fantastic and exciting use case that we're very excited about coming out soon. Another really incredible use case is AI help guides, and I'm actually going to turn it over to Aaron to talk a little bit about these.
Great. Thank you so much, Paige. Yeah, that's all really exciting. And to turn things over to, yeah, AI, which is an integration I'm really excited about, something that we can now officially share, are these AI-enabled guides that can be integrated directly into your virtual tour experience. So the primary way that these AI guides work are they're trained off of all of your school's information. So the best way to think about it is if anyone here has used, and I'm sure we all have, ChatGPT, instead of there just being like one overarching ChatGPT model, this is a model that is trained and fine-tuned specifically for your school. Characterized however you'd like to fit, the spirit of your school and campus life. So we'll look at this use case from Millersville University, and what they chose to do was integrate a 3D model of their school mascot, Scully, right there. He is a dancing pirate parrot, of which you can now ask it questions regarding campus life, regarding school life. So we find that this is a great way for prospective students to have sort of a 24/7 tour guide that is always accessible right on your virtual tour. So you can imagine that that's like a really exciting development for a couple reasons. One of which is there's someone now present on your virtual tour to answer that basic level of inquiry. It also provides just like a really engaging experience that users can use directly on your tour. So this is something that we're really excited about. You can integrate it with, 3 holograms, and it's all a generative experience. So these aren't predefined answers. These are unique answers trained all off of your custom school information. Um, yeah, that's the AI tour guide. So the next thing that Paige kind of hinted at that we're really excited to announce is the entire Campus 360 platform is now available right now on Quest devices, MetaQuest devices everywhere. So Quest 2, Quest 3, a little hint is we are raffling off a Quest 2 to attendees today. So you'll be free to check out the Campus 360 on your new Quest. But essentially, we have updated a virtual reality application in full VR with everything you can access on Campus 360 right on this virtual app. So we'll show you just a brief trailer right now that just shows off what's in store with the Campus 360 VR app. Yeah, so we're really excited about this new development. And as you can see, so just to talk about the application a little bit more, you'll see, and you can see right now in the thumbnail, you're sort of taken into this navigation menu system that's fully interacted with, your Oculus and with, your Joy-Cons, of which you can now integrate or look at whatever tour that's available on the Campus 360 platform. You can now easily find in VR. You can explore. There are ways. There's still the same contact menus, all the same functionality that's employed in the website is all now in sort of an immersive, truly VR experience, and it's just really fantastic. And it is available on the MetaQuest store, and it's also available side-loaded on SideQuest, so you can choose either way. On the Quest App Store, you just search for Campus 360 and will be right there available to download for free. So yeah, that's our new VR app. We're so excited about that.
Yeah. Hugely increases accessibility to a lot of students, right? And it's a really great way, for example, if you happen to have an Oculus Quest, maybe the one we're raffling off today, right? You can then actually take that with you as you're recruiting and show your students your campus fully in VR directly from the Campus 360 app. So it's really great for accessibility in that way. Great. All right, so a little bit more information about how to download right here.
Yes. So this is just sort of showing what you'll see when you look us up on either the Quest app or via SideQuest. And either option, it's the exact same app, just kind of two different methods depending on, your preference. But you just search for Campus 360 and we'll be right there for available for download.
Great. So you don't just have to take our word for it, right? We're a little biased, but feel free to reach out, contact any of our partners about their experience working with us. We really love our partners and would love to get a chance to work with you. So feel free to touch base with any of these lovely individuals. All right, and now is a chance if anyone has any questions about about our platform, Campus 360, or any of the new features that we are launching now. Feel free to send any messages in the Q&A portion.
Yeah, please. And I received a few to me, so I'll just read those off. And if anyone else has any questions, please just feel free to drop them in the chat and we'll get to them. So one that I have is uh, what are the benefits of having guided pathways in a tour?
Sure, absolutely. So, touched about this a little bit, right? But the real benefits are this ability to create a specific route for targeted interest groups. So, rather than just sending students your whole tour, you can send them a specific link or tell them to follow a specific route for areas or stories that are particularly relevant to them. So, say for example, you could create a specific yellow brick road guided pathway for grad students because maybe they don't need to see all of the same dorms or all of those same undergrad facilities. You can actually guide them on a specific route that is specifically targeted to them so that they're not getting kind of any of that superfluous, unnecessary information. And the same exact thing with stories. You're able to create specific and targeted routes and informational content for students to kind of even more to make use of the tour that exists, but in a much more targeted way.
Excellent. Yeah, great. And we have a question in the Q&A I'm seeing. Is the AI also multilingual? So this is a fantastic question. The answer is it can depend on the language. So we have taught the AI a few different languages. We've trained it in Arabic. We've done some training in Mandarin. We've tested training in Spanish. So we have done some testing in other languages, all of which we can get it functional. However, we primarily recommend starting in English. And if you're getting a lot of usage and you're getting also a lot of external usage from people wanting multi-language support, then we suggest that that's a potential add-on. But our general recommendation with AI is, sort of start with the primary use case and then we can build around it. So, if multi-language is something that you find is like really necessary, then that's something we can talk about. But it also just depends on the language you're looking for, as well as, yeah, just the particular way you'd like to deploy the AI, which I'd also be happy to get into as
Mhm.
well. But
Yeah.
yeah.
One thing I want to mention too, the AI is, as you can see, able to be deployed within virtual tours. We can also deploy it on your web pages, your website directly without it having to be in the tour. So the same AI can be across multiple different websites, web pages as well.
Exactly. And another question I'm seeing are, what are some ways schools are using AR to improve their tours?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you saw, we have one version that it's really powerful in creating, I think personally, self-guided tours is a huge use case there, right? So you can have your standard campus map, whether that's a trifold or a postcard or what have you, that then they can see it come to life and become three-dimensional. And then from there, actually tour campus, learn more about campus, get information about each stop as they go to it, and the really powerful use case is actually navigate there directly using GPS. Um, Again, that same map, that same piece of paper is also then applicable for students who aren't on campus because you can then link from that same location to the virtual tour as well. So we take that kind of campus map, those campus locations, those virtual tour locations, and we turn it into a print piece that becomes huge for marketing both off and on campus. It's also huge in terms of accessibility, right? So if you have students who aren't able to take a tour in the normal sense, say for example, they come onto campus at a time when it's a holiday break, so your student tour guides are gone and they can't take one of your standard tours, they can take that self-guided tour on their own. Or for example, if they need it in they have issues with tour groups, like they for example, if groups are something that they're not comfortable with, they can still take this self-guided tour. Or if they need to take things at their own pace, it becomes huge in terms of accessibility in that way. We can also use it again, as you saw with what University of Pittsburgh is doing. to highlight buildings, to showcase the interiors or lab spaces. We did one for TASIS that features their dorm buildings. TASIS England shows off their dorm buildings and different features of their dorms. We can do the same kind of thing with labs to showcase kind of the features, as well as the location. And we can also do one that we didn't show. We can create portals. So while you're on campus and in that location, you can actually scan a QR code. Again, it's all web-based, but it opens up a window into that location in your virtual tour, but you can actually use your phone. It's called gyroscopically enabled to look around and see the location in 360 on your phone. So if, for example, there's spaces like lab spaces or libraries or dorms that you're not able to show in person during a tour because you're not able to open those up to the public, you can still show the interior and what they look like to students while they're on campus using those portal experiences. So there's a lot of really fascinating and really interesting ways that AR is being used to implement and augment, for lack of a better word, right? To augment your virtual tours. And it's really just kind of a matter of what works best for you and what you can come up with, different ways that it can be used.
Great. And we'll just run through, I'm seeing one last question. This one's pretty simple though. Would you recommend users downloading the VR application through SideQuest or Quest Store? You mentioned two ways. Uh, Great question. So yeah, it's generally up to your preference. Again, it's the same application. However, if you're unfamiliar, like if you've never heard of the term SideQuest, I would just go directly on the Quest App Store and look up Campus 360. SideQuest is essentially a way for, people who are really interested in like developing games, to, it's sort of like a hosted platform for sort of independent game developers to what they called sideload games. So if that's all unfamiliar to you, then just go directly on the Quest Store and search for Campus 360. It's the same app, and you can do that via your headset or via desktop. Just search for Campus 360 and we'll be right there. And yeah, that's about it that I can see. So
Well, thanks so much, everyone, for joining us today. Keep it nice and short so everyone can get back to their day. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you have any questions, please feel free. You can see our contact information is right down here at the bottom of the page. Please feel free to reach out to us at any time. I'm happy to answer any questions, hop on any calls, talk about different ways that Campus XR and Campus 360 and our other XR services can work for you. So again, please feel free to reach out to us at any time. Thank you so much for joining and have a great rest of your day.
yeah. And finally, for all attendees who attended today, we will be collecting all your names and then raffling off the Quest 2. So thank you again for joining us, and we'll get back to one of you very shortly. So thank you.
Thanks so much, everybody.